Hello, this is a video about how to program the real-time qPCR system we got in the lab. Click on the icon where we got it on your desktop or whatever, shortcut bar. This is the opening screen. Here comes a startup visit. You can try using it. I never used it, but feel free. It's made for you, making life easier for the users, so please do. I usually go to File and say, in this case, New, and we're going to make a protocol. Here we have the protocol for programming the instrument, and there are a number of things you should take into account. First of all, the sample volume. It should be, usually we use in this lab 20 microliter, so make sure that's the right one. And then you see right now we have an initial step, and then we have 40 cycles consisting of 95 degrees at 10 seconds and 55 for 30. And we have a little camera here. That's because it's real time, so it actually takes a picture of the fluorescence when these 30 seconds are done. We're going to do a more classic protocol, and we're using the SoFast kit. It's a special polymerase from a very heat-stable bacteria, one of those who lives in the black smokers in the sea, Purococcus species. They're not going to tell us what it is. So we usually do 98 degrees, and also down here. And you can do two things. You can click down here, or you can click up at the screen. Feel free, again, do whatever you think is easiest for you. And we're going to, you have designed some excellent primers, so let's say 60 degrees. The higher the annealing temperature, the better. Always give anything else equal, it will always give a more specific PCR. And you have designed primers which jumps right into the DNA, so we just give it 15 seconds here. You designed, let's say you designed a 200 base pair product, and doing that, you need an extension time, and we will just get rid of the plate read here. So go over here, you have a little toolbar, and one of them say remove plate read, and it says insert step, and yeah, it's the extension step. That's where the polymerase is doing the hard work, and that means we need to find the temperature optimum, and it's usually, for most polymerases, around 72 degrees. And this polymerase is doing 1500 base pairs a minute. You have 200, that's probably 1/6 of what you talked about, so that would be something like 1/6 of a minute is 10 seconds, like this. A good idea is always to do plenty of cycles. So, oops, I forgot to erase the other ones, like this. So now we got 45 cycles. You can see it's doing a cycle, and it goes back to line 2, and it will do it additionally 44 times. Perfect. We're doing this experiment as a high resolution melt, and some things you would do when you do a high resolution melt is to have 2 additional steps. It's probably a bit of superstition, but usually you do 72 degrees for just 10 seconds to make certain that everything is double stranded. And you insert a new step to 98, again for just 10 seconds. And you insert a new step, 50, for 20 seconds. The reasoning behind this is, the 98 degrees gives us denatures the DNA, and 10 seconds and 98 is more than enough. Of course, 99.9% of the things we got down there are PCR products which are around 200 base pairs long, and they won't take long to denature them. And then you do 50 and 20 seconds, and that's simply to get everything down there double stranded, and also facilitate if we got a mixture of products with which has some differences, we can find them. That's what we call heterozygotes. So you would do that. Usually it's not that common in bacteria, but we might see it, so we better do that. And then we need the melt curve. And the melt curve starts at 65, ends at 95. The increment should not be more, when it's high resolution melt, should not be more than 0.2 degrees. And the time we stay at each temperature with these 0.2 degrees intervals is 10 seconds for everything to adjust, attach, or melt, whatever they need to do. And then it will do a plate read. And we're done. Although I forgot something up here. Right now, we are not, as you can see, we are not having any pictures taken. So we need to make the plate read. And if you want to be really nice to the instrument, get it to cool down fast, but at the same time not be too cold so you get condensation, you insert a step called, and then you say something like 21 degrees for 5 seconds. That way it will cool down and turn off, and your samples will be there, but it doesn't harm a PCR product in a well-defined buffer, even to be several days in the machine at room temperature. It will be fine, and we are not really going to use that except for anything except for some aqueous gels or whatever. If we're going to do sequencing, I would recommend not that you put any cooling steps in, but that you actually pick up the sample and put it into the refrigerator. We're done. We say OK. Do you want to save changes to the protocol file? You say yes. And then you have to find a new name. Usually I prefer that you use the date, because then all your files will be stored chronologically, easy to find, because you have a lab manual, you write the date in the book, easy to find the accompanying file. And then you can add some text. Now it was just me doing this, so you can call it this, and we are doing HRM, so I add this, and we're done. This was the programming, the protocol programming. Plate setup will be done in class, so because it's very specific depending on the different applications you want to do. So you have to be in class to see that. Thank you very much.